Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Valen, and this is Immersive Engineering. There's been a slight update to this, and I'm giving you a little bit of a heads up as to some of the changes that have come about, pluses, and maybe a minus or two. So first and foremost, you probably noticed that I now have these floodlights kind of facing in a strange direction. They're actually rendering properly now. Allow me to go over here and better demonstrate this. Of course, it will still accept an LV connection as before, but now you can actually adjust this. And I recommend that if you are going to adjust these, you do so while they are currently off. Now, I have this lever down here currently with everything on, so allow me to turn that off, and slowly you'll see the light diminish in the area. Imagine these as some of those really old, massive light bulbs that take a few, like 5, 10, 15 seconds for it to finally go out or even come on. And you'll probably be pretty accurate with how this actually functions at that point. Now, in order to adjust this, you can now right-click on the top. Easiest if you don't have a shield in your inventory, and it will spin around. You can just hold it down and it will automatically rotate, or you can shift and right click and you will turn it the opposite direction. Now, if you want to have it start pivoting in an upward or downward manner, then you just aim for the side, and you can then rotate it around like so, or shift and right click and it will go back the opposite direction. Therefore, you can have it go in the direction pointing at the place you want to put a whole bunch of light sources, and it will effectively act like a lot of torches in the area. So it will also prevent creature spawning in the zone as well, which can be very beneficial. Now let's turn that back on. And there is a little something more dangerous that is less dangerous now, but more so as well. Of course, the Tesla coil. Now, the Tesla coil has demonstrated here. I have shown this off before, but it now, if in low mode, take your engineer's hammer and shift right click. You see the power mode in the top left there says low now. It will not kill me anymore when I'm in my survival mode. So allow me to run over here, turn this on, and you'll see it's working, and there are the fluorescent tubes are currently stating that it's, giving power out to this far, but if you get close enough, it will then start zapping you. And you notice I am not taking any damage, though I'm getting zapped, as I should be. This is how it was in the 1.7 version. This has currently been corrected, and you can now mess around with this in the lower version. Now, of course, if I take these off, then I start taking damage, so I'm going to put them back on. Yeah, so careful with that, because one hit from high power is 5 hearts of damage now. It's very effective. And of course, you don't want to touch the primary circuit of a running Tesla coil with your hammer. Bad things happen. With death and destruction out of the way comes some new changes, and that is the strip curtain, which, as you see here, can come in a multitude of different displays and sizes. And it acts very strange. For instance, it's intended to go over doorways but not block them. So if I put it on this block here, it appears at the very bottom of it, and therefore covering the lower block. So let me grab a few of these, and I can actually demonstrate that this can work for doorways. So if I were to do this, put it on this block, it hangs down and does not actually prevent me from going through it. It's just a pass-through. So it's sort of like those little like covers that you can put with a conveyor belt down at the bottom here. Let me grab a conveyor and allow this to be demonstrated. So therefore you can have your stuff going through with one of these above it. You can even have people standing on it if you want. But that's pretty much all it's there for. A little aesthetic touch, which is kind of nice. And you can dye it practically any color of the rainbow, minus infrared perhaps. I don't know. But you get the idea. You can dye these things just by adding a little bit of the dye in a crafting grid. with the strip curtain, and that's pretty much it. In order to make it, it's 6 tough fabric and either steel rod, iron rod, or aluminum rod, 3 of which at the top will get you 3 strip curtains, which are pretty cool looking. Now, moving on, there are some other things. Small touch was that the when you have a fluid pipe and you've got some of these here scaffolding bits on them, you can actually walk up and over them now, and more than just 1 or 2 types will fit on a pipe, so you can actually climb up and over all of these, which is extremely nice now that you're able to kind of integrate pipes into your scaffolding work. On top of that, we have the wood barrel, or the wooden barrel rather. As before, if you hold some kind of liquid holding device in your hand, like a bucket, it will tell you the information about what is in each one. Creosote, water. I can try and put lava in, and it actually says it's too hot for the container. Plus, they're now adjustable. That was an error before, where just the iron ones were adjustable. So therefore, you can still change these. Let me take this shield off, and you can deactivate it, input or output, same as before. Now, if you notice here, I currently have, let's see, empty creosote oil. Well, I have fluid pipes. I'll put this on here. That was set to output, and it should start, yep, there it goes, going into here, and slowly working its way into a regular bin if I were to actually hook all that up. Now, moving on from that, we also have the hot air balloon. Well, it's not a hot air balloon, it's just a balloon, but I never really covered these before. They are relatively simple to make. Tough fabric, torch, and treated wood slabs, and you can place them up in the air in the world. It's really cool. And previously, they didn't actually light up the area, even though there was a torch inside of them. And you could, build off of them, which was really convenient. Therefore, you could, go up in the air, place one down, and then build off of it. So that's really cool. But now it also generates light, so you won't have mobs spawning on top of it anymore, and it also will give off a light source in the area that you need it to. Now, moving on, of course, we have some explosive resistant blocks. Now, with this, we have the leaded concrete blocks, stairs, slabs, and so on, will now give some resistance to explosions. So allow me to demonstrate here. There you go, and they are still intact. So if you need a little bit of extra oomph in your walls, you can have a little bit of protection with leaded concrete. Now, I don't know if many of you have tried using the Engineer's Toolbox in the past. It's a very handy device that allows you to store, tools and weapons, some food, different kinds of immersive engineering like connectors and coils, plus just a bunch of whatever the heck you want. Now, in the past, it would, on occasion, void a few of the items you would put in it, therefore causing a little bit of an issue. But now that has since been fixed, so this is once again a very useful and very large item you can carry with you to have a lot of stuff. Now, with the good comes a little bit of bad. As you see here, I have a silo. Previously, there was an issue where it would, on occasion, void all of its contents. As you can see, that is currently running and doing just fine, but you notice it's running out of the hopper, but not out of the side. This is currently the down part that I see, is that the only way to have it come out of the bottom is with a hopper, or using alternate mods, specifically like an item conduit. With it, you have these options here where you can actually have it extract, and if you have a mod that allows you to do that, it will allow you to pull out of the sides, but as it is currently, I am not able to get it to have conveyor belts pull out the side. But with a hopper in place, it works, and then you still have to use a lever to turn that off and stop it from functioning. Now, a few more aesthetic things. You'll notice that the windmills no longer have a dark texture on them. They have since been repaired and look very nice. Same with the water wheel. They do look a little bit bright, but at least they don't have the broken shading that they had before on them. There was tons of other minor fixes and so on, therefore you should have a little bit less buggy of a version. But there is one last thing you should be aware of. It has new Forge config system is installed in the latest version, which is 0.10-47, which is the version I am showing you now. You're going to want to delete your old config settings if you haven't already, as they may cause some glitches or errors. As I have done so, I am no longer worrying about it. And I now have a new and improved Immersive Engineering to continue on with you guys. So, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. I really like the fact that there is a whole bunch of new stuff that you can do with Immersive Engineering, especially improvements on some of the old things. There's a lot of improvements on some of the larger machines as well, so feel free to take a look at those logs. If you want, in your engineer's manual, you can actually check it out with your update news and click on these to see what has happened new for you too. And as always, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Pass the Mischief on to others if you think they'll enjoy this content. And until next time, folks, I'll see ya.